How's it going, everyone? This is Mike, back to do kind of an update video. I want to show you some of the things I've been picking up lately. Uh, a lot of them at the Criterion sale at Barnes & Noble, and some of them at the sale of the, I told you in a couple of videos ago, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, there's a local video store that's going out of business, and they're selling everything off, including a huge section of Criterions. And every week the prices are going down. Well, right now, I went there tonight and the prices are going down. Right now they're at $9.95 a piece. So I picked up a few Criterions there, and I'll probably go back. It's kind of hard to tear myself away, but I've been spending time at Barnes & Noble as well, and buying stuff online. So money's just flying out of my hands right and left. I can't seem to stop it. All right, so first let me show you, this is the next issue of Fangoria magazine, which, as you can see, has a beautiful drawing of Barbara Steele on the cover. And this is actually coming out at the beginning of August, I guess. That's not the current issue, it'll be the next issue. But I managed to get this online. Somebody's already selling it on eBay, so I got it. And this has kind of an overview, nothing new terribly, but it's a big long article about Barbara and her career in horror films, and has a lot of pictures, and it's always great fun. I think you will all agree that it's not possible to know too much about Barbara Steele. I'm kidding. All right. And on this page shows that Severin Films is going to be putting out a Blu-ray, a new Blu-ray of Nightmare Castle. They already put out an excellent DVD version of Nightmare Castle, and now they're putting it out on Blu-ray, and they're also going to include two of her other horror films, the American versions, Castle of Blood and Terror Creatures from the Grave. So we can all look forward to that. And there is also an article featuring an interview with Barbara about her last film, Lost River, directed by Ryan Gosling, the film that never actually has been released, but it is now out on DVD and Blu-ray. So you can try to purchase that if you have any interest. And she believes in the film very strongly. Her part is very, very small, and she doesn't really have a lot to do, but she's proud of it, so I'm proud of it for her. And I actually like the film very much. So anyway, and I bought a book the other night at Barnes & Noble. When I was shopping for DVDs, I also picked up a book. This is called Mad as Hell, right? Mad as Hell, The Making of Network, of the film Network, 1976, and the Fateful Vision of the Angriest Man in Movies, all right? Which means, I guess, is referring to the character of, what is it, Howard Beale, the guy who went, the anchor man who went crazy. I guess that's what they're referring to. Or maybe be referring to Patty Chayefsky, who wrote the story and the screenplay. But I guess I'll find out when I start reading it. It's written by a guy named David Itzkoff, and I think this will be a lot of fun to read. So I actually watched this movie again. Been a long time since I'd seen it, but I watched it again just a couple of weeks ago, and I was absolutely blown away by what a good movie it really is. It's very much a satire, but it's also frighteningly prescient about what it said about television, the nature of television, the possibilities of television, and the so-called reality shows, the same kind of crap that we have on TV now, and how powerful television really is. And in a way, how frightening it could be. So anyway, looking forward to reading that. Okay, so the movies that I've got recently, some of them, I bought a big pile of stuff right here from oldies.com. They were having a mega sale, and I just couldn't resist. So I'll show you what I got from them. This is a film called Horrible Horror, special edition, featuring one of the earliest and most memorable horror host, a guy named Zachary, right? Zachary, whom I never actually saw when he was on TV. That was way, way back in the 50s. But when I started reading monster magazines, of course, I saw his face all the time and heard about him. And I actually had one of his record albums when I was very, very young, where he did, parody songs, a lot of comedy about, monster songs like Monster Mash and all that sort of thing. And just a very cool guy. And this is a series of film clips from mostly low-budget, not terribly well-made horror movies that he combines with a lot of comedy. So he's like the ultimate horror host. This was made back in the 80s, and I had it on VHS for years, played it 1,000 times until I think I just screwed up the tape. So I was very happy when it finally came out on DVD. And this man is still alive. He is 96 years old. And he was, as far back as, I think it was sometime in the 90s, he was still doing personal appearances and going to conventions and all that sort of thing. And I would love to meet this guy. Some of the extra features include some of his TV appearances, including one where he appeared on What's My Line as a mystery guest back in the 50s, when he was out of makeup and just wearing a suit, and he looked just like any other human being. And of course, almost nobody knew who he was. But it was just a lot of fun. This guy's very cool. Okay, Zachary. I also bought this movie. This is a horror film called The Skull, starring Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee, which I've never seen, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. This is a film, kind of an obscure film from 1971 called Desperate Characters, starring Shirley MacLaine and Kenneth Mars, of all people. They play a married couple living in contemporary New York, and it's one of these very cynical late 60s, early 70s American films that they were starting to take a very critical look at American culture and marital relationships and just all sorts of things. And they were not terribly well, the whole thing about Hollywood being something that gives you happy endings and made you feel good when you walk out of the theater. By this time, that wasn't happening very much. They were trying to make you, depressed or something. But I actually like this, and I remember hearing about this back in the 70s, but I never got a chance to see it. And I think it disappeared rather quickly. But Shirley MacLaine is actually very good in this. And one of the bit players is a very young Carol Kane. She has maybe 2 lines in the film, and it's kind of fun to see her. 1971, Desperate Characters. Okay. Now here's a film directed by Pier Paolo Pasolini, and it's called The Gospel According to Matthew. I guess The Gospel According to St. Matthew. Now, I actually saw this movie back in 1972, and at the time I thought it was a new film, but it was actually made in the early 60s. I think it was 63. So it just happened to be in a re-release when I had a chance to see it. But it had a big effect on me at the time. I remember that I saw this during the time when I was in the process of converting to Catholicism, and this really was very moving to me. It's kind of sort of an avant-garde approach to the Bible story of Christ being born into the world, and the story of his passion and death and all that sort of thing. But I actually like it. It's very good. This disc has a color version, but it also has the original black and white, which is the one I will watch. I have no interest in seeing this in color. Okay, Pier Paolo Pasolini, a very complicated individual. Yeah, I'd like to know more about him. Okay, I also got, oh boy, how many did I get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of the Rifftrax, okay, collection. These are the guys that were in MST3K, and now instead of doing it on television, they're doing it on DVD. So I bought a whole bunch of these. And some of these are, they do short films. This is called the Old Time Shorts Roundup. This is Shorts to Go. This is an old Bela Lugosi low-budget film called Voodoo Man. This one I've already watched. This one they do, this is a live Rifftrax presentation where it actually shows them on stage, and there are a whole bunch of extra things going on, like musical performances and all that. Plan 9 from Outer Space, which is a wonderful film and funny in itself, but I mean, I laughed until I was sick. I almost fell out of my chair. This was absolutely wonderful. So these guys are terrific. Here's an old classic called Reefer Madness. Looking forward to seeing them take that on. Here is Little Shop of Horrors. That should be cool. And finally, another shorts compilation called Shorts to Astonish. So if you like the Rifftrax guys and their brand of humor, might be a good thing for you to do, or pick up. Here are some things I picked up. Before I get to the Criterions, just a few other things. I picked up this nice little box set for The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, which is only a couple of bucks. I just couldn't resist it. I mean, it was that cheap. It has little lobby cards, collection of lobby cards, and an essay, and the movie. But it's, I don't know, I thought, what the hell, for a couple of bucks. Oh, it's actually a 2-disc set. Sorry, just remember that. And I haven't sat down to watch it yet, but I really like that. Really like the way it's packaged. No, it's kind of nice. Clint Eastwood. It, of course, has been used, so it's got some markings on it, scuff marks and all that. But out there, nothing is ever perfect, right? I also picked up for a low price another Alfred Hitchcock film that I've never seen. This is Shadow of a Doubt. And I seem to remember that my friend Forker Ball reviewed this one, so I'm looking forward to watching that and maybe telling him what I think of it. And I finally picked up a copy of The Artist, which I never had. I'm embarrassed to say this, but I have not seen this, so I'm looking forward to getting into it. Started watching it the other night, but I was I went right to sleep, so I thought I'm not doing this justice. It was too late at night, and I hadn't had much sleep the night before, and I just couldn't keep my eyes open, so I turned this off because I want to have my full attention when I watch it. Okay, so let's get to the Criterions. Now, okay, so I went to this sale tonight at the video store, and I picked up 3 things, and these are films. I think one of them I have seen. One of them that I've seen many, many years ago is I Married a Witch, starring Veronica Lake. I'm pretty sure that I've seen this, or at least part of it, way, way back in the day, but I don't remember much about it. But I love Veronica Lake, so I'm looking forward to seeing it. And that looks to be in pretty good shape for something that's been rented quite a bit. All right. Another film I picked up that I've never seen, but I'm interested in it, is Naked Lunch, directed by David Cronenberg. It's got this very nice booklet in it. Okay. All about William S. Burroughs and his philosophy of life, which I understand is quite depressing, but it'd be fun to find out. Okay. Another film, I love Jim Jarmusch, and I've always wanted to see Night on Earth. So I finally get a chance to see this for $10. It's not bad. And this, let's see, the only person I know who was in this is Jenna Rollins, and I absolutely worship her, so it'd be nice to see her in a film. Okay, so this is what I picked up so far in the Criterion sale at Barnes & Noble. And the first thing I picked up, and the only one that I've watched so far, is Slacker, Richard Linklater. I'm turning into a real Linklater freak here. I absolutely fell in love with this movie. And, okay, the disc keeps falling out, but I just, it's kind of a stream of consciousness thing, doesn't need a plot. It just, I don't know, this just touched a nerve in me. I related to what these people were saying and the kinds of just the whole meandering, wandering nothingness of their lives. Maybe that's my life or something, but no, I really did like this film. Loaded with extra features, interviews, all kinds of really cool stuff. So, also from Richard Linklater, I finally got around to buying Dazed and Confused, which I've never seen. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. That is just such great packaging there, isn't it? Isn't that great? That is so beautiful. See inside here. It's got this huge booklet here, loaded with art. And, okay, let's see, what is this? This is a poster, I guess. Oh, yeah. I like this guy. Now watch me not be able to fold this up right. Oh boy, that's embarrassing. I'll do that later. Okay, so this is a 2-disc set. So just the artwork is gorgeous on this, man. That is so psychedelic. It's not even funny. Okay. Okay, we'll put this together later on. Now, okay, now I went in last night, as I said, so I picked up Dazed and Confused. And as soon as I walked into Barnes & Noble and went right for the Criterion section, this guy was working here, the guy I'd never met before, because they seem to have a lot of part-timers that just kind of work one day a week or something. And he immediately noticed that I was in the Criterion section, so we started talking, and he was talking about the things that he was buying, and we were recommending things back and forth. And he talked me into buying. He was speaking so highly of Stanley Kubrick's The Killing that I decided to pick it up. He said it was a very good example of film noir, so I am anxious to see it. Anybody out there seen this? Who's got Sterling Hayden? Let's see. Sterling Hayden, Colleen Gray, Vince Edwards, Marie Windsor. Wow, great cast of actors. Stanley Kubrick. What year was this made? I can't even know. No, 1956. I wonder if this was Kubrick's first film. Does anybody know that? Okay. All right, 2-disc set. Looking forward to getting into that. And finally, again, another film noir, or I should say 2 of them. This is The Killers. Okay? The Killers, which has both the 1946 version and the one that was made by Don Siegel in 1964. The one in 1946 has, let's see, Ava Gardner, Burt Lancaster, and the one in 1964, which I've never seen the one from 1946. I don't think if I have, I don't remember. It's been a very long time. But I did go to see the one from 1964. I'm pretty sure I saw it at the theater, and it had Lee Marvin, Angie Dickinson, John Cassavetes, and Ronald Reagan. Can you believe that? And it was Ronald Reagan's last film before he retired from acting to become a politician. As we all know, he was a very successful politician. Anyway, the film also has Seymour Cassel, who, of course, is a good friend of John Cassavetes and is in a lot of his films. But Cassavetes didn't direct this, directed by Don Siegel. So, okay, lots of extra features. Looking forward to getting into this. So I'm trying to restrain myself from going crazy with the Criterion sale, but it's hard to stay away. I'll have to, well, I just can't keep spending money like this. But so far, it's not. I'm not running out, so I have a little time left. So anyway, thanks for watching, and if you have any comments or questions, please let me know. Take care.